Hello everyone! I'll be fair and admit that I only became interested in the movie Anora the moment I found out it won 5 Oscars. And even after seeing the trailer, I was still set on hating this movie. But then I saw it, and I was surprised by how raw and unapologetic it is regarding a variety of human truths we all like to pretend don't exist. And that in itself makes it a film worth watching. Did it deserve to win the Oscars? Probably not, but I still found parts of it that I enjoyed very much. A little disclaimer here. Guys, you will not appreciate Anora if generally you like things spelled out to you in movies or series. You will hate it if you're looking for Hollywood movie type empowered characters, and you will certainly waste your time with it if you know nothing of Eastern European culture or our way of life. This was an almost Cinderella-like story, left unfulfilled by the undeniable weight of reality which speaks louder than wishful thinking, especially in a world where love, power, and privilege rarely follow the rules of a fairy tale. So push through those first 30 minutes of what seems like gratuitous nudity because it gets better. This film showcases experimental cinematography, naturalistic screenwriting, and a rich cultural perspective, weaving them seamlessly into a compelling narrative. You will either hate it or love it, and either scenario is perfectly understandable. We all look for different things in a movie, and that's perfectly fine, so please don't come after me if you didn't like it. In short, Anora is a comedy drama that stars Mikey Madison in the role of a street-smart Brooklyn sex worker who gets entangled with the son of a Russian oligarch and ends up marrying him on an impulse. The news does not sit well with the parents, who, as soon as they find out, immediately try to get the marriage annulled. Therefore, comedy and drama ensue. As I said, the first part of the movie is somewhat misleading, vulgar to some, and boring to me personally. I thought I was watching yet again another movie that's trying too hard, or worse, using promiscuity to tell a story that isn't actually there. I rolled my eyes at it at every 2 minutes, almost ready to abandon it, when I reminded myself that it was directed by Sean Baker, who likes to work on realistic, character-driven movies that show the more crude aspect of life in comparison to fully mass-oriented films. In all truth, I think they could have handled the beginning better. I believe that time could have been better spent exploring Anora's past more or journeying deeper into cultural differences, but perhaps it was necessary for setting the scene and introducing the character's ignorant attitude toward life. The following section of my video will contain some spoilers, so be warned. And now let's dissect the reasons why I liked the movie Anora. The Anora-Vanya parallel. The two main characters of the movie are crucial to the plot, in the sense that they are both the poster children for their respective realities. Anora is life-smart, charming, manipulative, good at her job as seen from her ability to secure plenty of customers, but also desperate enough to believe that fairy tales are real and that wealthy foreigners would marry someone in her position. She is longing to be saved even though she doesn't realize it at first, but when that thought becomes a possibility, she latches at her chance to become the wife of the richest person she knows. She comes from a working-class background with no other means to support herself, and growing up in an environment where survival takes precedence over dreams has shaped her character into something resilient and sharp-witted. At the opposite end of this tunnel we have Vanya, the rich spoiled brat who enjoys a life of endless fun and possibilities and who, right before returning to Russia to work alongside his father, considers his last trip to America as an opportunity to enjoy the rest of his freedom and ruin some lives in the process because why not? It's not as if he's the one cleaning up the mess or taking responsibility for anything he does. He's the product of his upbringing, and we understand that entirely when we get to see his parents, and his own mother states that her son never apologizes to anyone. He perfectly expresses the idea that the rich own the poor and they can do whatever they want without any consequences. For him, the world is his playground, and Anora is yet another fly that got entangled in his web on her way to the honeypot. He is dismissive, lazy, a drug addict, and a complete coward, all while exploiting a woman who believes she has struck gold. The Russian Eastern European culture. I can't help but appreciate how this movie incorporates several Eastern European elements and references, particularly through its depiction of Russian culture. We are greeted with the concept of oligarch, a Russian term that denotes a very wealthy and powerful individual with significant political influence within the country. And like any respectable oligarch, Vanya's father has his trusty goons whom he sends out to solve his son's issues. I especially enjoy how we are introduced to Toros during a Christian Orthodox baptism where he is, not surprisingly, the godfather. In Eastern Europe, we usually pick our godparents based on status and financial situation because we consider them to be spiritual parents, and for that they need to be wealthier and more successful than us in order to have the skills to teach us how to lead a more enriched and better life, or even get ahead. Why not? Fortunately, this kind of mentality is slowly dying down, but it's not completely obsolete yet. Vanya's parents are beyond entitled, and they like to express their affluence. It's no exaggeration that Eastern Europeans are inclined to show off their status and their wealth by dressing well or flaunting material things. As a result, his parents arrive in a private jet. They are dressed in expensive clothes, and at one point, Vanya asks his mother if her coat is from the new collection, affirming their superficiality. Interestingly enough, we have his mother taking charge of the whole situation, and we see her being the first to exit the jet, alluding to how in Eastern Europe, women are matriarchs when it comes to solving issues related to their beloved son. There is no interfering between an Eastern European male and his momulechka. One of my absolute favorite scenes is the one where everyone is shouting over each other, creating a chaotic yet oddly familiar dynamic. It perfectly mirrors the way we often resolve conflicts, not out of distress or anger, but with a passion that can easily be mistaken for confrontation. That moment also beautifully highlights Anora's Russian roots, making it all the more enjoyable. And now let's talk about Igor. Igor is by far my favorite character of the movie. He is the only one who treats Anora like a human being without expecting anything in return. His small gestures speak of great character. He never hurts her, he tries to reason with her, he offers her a muffler to stay warm, he carries her bags upstairs, and in the end even gives her her ring. Everything proves he cared more for her in the past 48 hours than Vanya ever did in weeks. At one point I swear they even have chemistry. There is a certain understanding and similarity between them shared by their life and Russian blood, a silence in gestures, if you will, and this scene in particular attests to it. In one scene, she slaps him, and that comically earns her his respect. In fact, Igor serves as a silent observer. He sees the cracks forming before other characters do, and watches on as the drama unfolds without intervening, either out of cynicism or personal interest. His lack of reaction doesn't indicate indifference, but rather a clear understanding of how the world works and the power dynamics involved. This is a movie that allows you to be an accomplice, as both you, the spectator, and Igor, the character, exchange looks and giggle together at what's going on underneath the words and actions of others. He sees the situation for what it truly is, almost as if being the voice of reason behind every act. And now let's address the ending. Some say that the ending is what makes this movie worthwhile, and I might have to agree with that. Anora is not a victim. She knew exactly what she was doing when she married Vanya. Love may not have been her true motivation, instead she was drawn to the financial security and opportunities he represents. In fact, she may not even understand or recognize love because no one truly showed it to her, and when she experienced it for the first time from Igor's part, she feels helpless, suspicious, and rejects it violently. The whole experience feels like a cosmic joke played on a young woman who finally found her prince charming, only to wake up from her dream the one and only time Vanya displays some sincerity and calls her stupid. The ending speaks volumes of her accumulated frustrations and disappointments. She tries to reward Igor with sexual favors because she believes this is the only thing she's good at, and it allows her to exert control again the only way she knows how. However, she breaks down crying in a symbolic reminder that no matter how strong or resourceful you are, reality finds a way of overpowering ambition and shattering your expectations. The ending is deeply metaphorical and emotionally powerful, capturing a sense of helplessness that everyone has likely felt at some point in their life. Now we've reached the part of my video where I ask you what your thoughts are about the movie. What did you like and dislike, and what do you think Anora could have improved upon to better suit your preferences? Thank you for watching my video. Please help me out with a like and a kind comment, and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos about movies and games. Take care, everyone, and see you next time. Bye.